I'm an Odoo expert. I work for the Uni, the Distance University of Switzerland, located in Wallis. And I would like to describe you the main key points of this project, how we run a university with Odoo. Let's speak a bit about FenUni. We have different programs, basically these, and we offer our studies in German and French, and some of them in English. So we need a system who is able to handle very efficiently translations and work in different scopes. Some of our numbers: we have 101 employees, almost 400 docents, and 2,132 students. The last semester, so the inscription of this new semester, are 30% more than last 2019. To handle all the environment and all the Odoo developments, we have the support, of course, of Odoo with the main tool. We have the OCA for the localization of Switzerland and reporting tools in finance, etc. BrainTech provides us the support only on the scope of the salary application. RedOdoo, when we have migrations, they are supporting as well. The main development partner, or the main partner for us since last, we could say, 3 years, is Pesol, a company located in Spain. What is our life cycle of our students? Based on our reglement, the students inscribe in the institution, then they start to study with us, and then the semester is passing through, and afterwards, after these semesters, there is the exmatriculation. For each of these semesters, the student needs to decide if they want to reinscribe or not. So we have a whole control of what's going on with a student. If he has stopped because he has a big workload, or because there are some other personal circumstances and he cannot study, we know that. We are very close to them. To run a distance university, we need tools. We need all the administrative tools that provide Odoo. Many of the OCA tools that help us can be seen here. And then we need to also develop our own tools based on our straight educational reglement. So we have an application to manage the school. We have a lot of backend applications to deal and to interact with our students, with our applicants, with our teachers, evaluate our studies and evaluate our teachers. With survey, we need to connect to Moodle, which is the most famous open source learning management system. We have a signal sign-on to inscribe to access to the different platforms, and we have a lot of business intelligent tools to analyze the state of the university. As we said, one of the tools is to have the same credentials to access to the most important platforms, Odoo, our mail, Moodle, etc. Then Odoo here is providing the content of the contacts through a view, a database view, and it's also through a controller. We can also log in Odoo with the credentials provided by Switch. So then this is fantastic, because Odoo is like the master, is mastering the data for this thing. We used to have an inscription formula, very old one, directly querying Postgres. It was hard to maintain, because as soon as you change the school application, then you need to go to a front end who was developed outside of Odoo, and then also update that PHP and all these technologies that are not the standard in the core of Odoo. It was not responsive, layout obsolete, and then we decided to move this in a different scope. So we keep our employees concerning the inscription formula working in the backend of Odoo, so they are totally aware of what's going on with whatever inscription. Marketing can ask to an applicant why he didn't study, why he didn't finish the application, and our student services can find the diplomas very easily. Is everything well organized? But our applicants don't have that feeling of administration. They are just in a front end choosing a program. They fill the information in a very easy way. They upload the PDF with the diplomas. They answer a survey. All this is in a beautiful front end, responsive, etc. And this has been the key that we will see afterwards. Our business intelligence before, it was a external application that cooks the data and during the night, and then on the next day we have the data, and now we can cook the report. As soon as you change the school application, you have to go to this business application and change the queries, and you have to explain to the external people how Odoo work and how the database work and how we can. That was quite hard, but now we integrated that in Odoo, and then it's much easy to get the results. We use the analytics view, the pivot tables, we use all these powerful tools to control and to serve many actions. No? We also have a Moodle connector where Odoo launches the massive actions for each semester. We create the users, we link the different modules to the programs, we enroll the students. Fantastic. Then one of our tools that we feel more proud is the one that we provide to our students, which are more than 2,000 people. No? So the student services keep working in the backend. Over 100 employees, they have full access to everything from that a student see, but from the backend, much more information. But we have narrowed the scope of our students, and we guide them through what is pretty easy to do with a beautiful front-end application. So when they go to Odoo, what they see is this. They don't see the backend of Odoo. They go directly, they are redirected to a front-end application where they can see the results of their exams in modules, or check the events that they need to do for certain module, or check the invoices status that they pay every semester, the semester reinscription, as we said, every semester they inscribe. Reports, they don't need to go to the backend to print one report as before. Now they have it accessible here in one very simple area. It's crucial to mass mail, it's crucial to have performance, that the sendings are done in background, that are not spammed. This is provided by the core of Odoo. We don't need to touch anything. What we did enhance a bit is to link it from every important section of the school management application. We link it with the mass mailing application, and in this way is everything matching perfectly. We need to provide a ticketing service, so we use the 100% solution of Odoo, which is a project per department or program, and each fetched mail is a new ticket. Here we can see that in action. It's fantastically good. Then we did also develop a teacher application, which is same concept as the student app. We need to have all the information accessible to our student services. They can control everything. They can do the same actions as a teacher. But for our teachers, we bring them to something more nicer and simpler. And in this way, we save a lot of explanation and calls. I don't know how does this work. We provide the good tutorials, and we provide a super user-friendly application, no? So they can contact our students. They introduce the exams in a massive way. As we see, the layout is, and the design is much better than what we can offer in the backend of an administrative tool. They can interact with Fenuni to report their expenses, to change of address. This is so important because based on the law, as your taxes are computed based on the place where you live. So this is very crucial. Before it was a call to human resources. I'm gonna move. Sorry, please, can you change? Now it's something very quick and simple. We trigger whatever is needed. and they also, the teachers needs to control the evaluation of data, so the students did evaluate on the module that they are teaching. So we measure our student satisfaction based on what the teachers do. They provide a feedback, and also how the students, how happy they are with the studies, with the content of what they've seen. The model is the survey application. We send an invitation and then we report, mostly based on analytics. But we did a little bit, we did enhance that because we saw the powerful of the standard application, and we saw how easy it would be to provide something even better. You know? Then we display this information depending on the scope and depending on the department that we want to show. So it's not the same view for a teacher that needs to see each question with the different answers in a very easy way than for a director. The director wants to see big numbers, and then we need something like this. Then concerning the management of our employees, we need to manage their employees, they contract. There are many teachers who come in and come out really easy. So we need a very efficient way of controlling this, making a user active or inactive. Of course, we need to pay the salaries of the people, but we need to do that in a very exact and precise way. That's why we have an application provided by BrainTech, which is SwissTech certified, which is one organization here in Switzerland that provides this. And then, as we said, it's our Odoo needs to have a very easy way to introduce people and make them out. We need to control the leaves of the people, sick, holiday compensation, and for that, Odoo standard provide a super cool tool. It's the same with the hours management of our employees. We need to sign in, sign out for a specific project. That's something that we did here. Specifically, we need to control how long, on how much time do you spend on certain project or certain department, because people work in different sections, so that's also important for us. Then we can also control a month, so in case that you have already report the hours of a month, let's lock it, because the salaries are connected to this, and it cannot be that afterwards you change that. So then the OCA provide us a super nice tool to control the theoretical time that you should have with the already worked time that you did, and controlling the leaves, the public holidays, the leaves, and all this. Then we have the expenses, where we are using the basic solution, but of course we add validation processes with the tier validation from the OCA, and we have a super nice overview here coming with a standard, where we did realize that because of COVID, our employee costs are now much less. We see the left column, which is 2020, and the right column per certain month is 2019, and we can see how now we are 4 or sometimes even 6 times less than last year. Our teachers and our employees doesn't move that much. The mobility is reduced. The spending, the hotels, the overnight is also much more reduced. We need to run the finance to have a real solution for everything. So we need to pay our suppliers, invoice our students, follow up all those who doesn't pay in a massive way to our suppliers, reconcile fiscal year closing. All that is done by finance, by the standard Odoo tool, but we also need some other OCA tools for the to precisely control what's going on with certain account, and for that we use the power of the MIS report and of MIS budgets. Budgets in universities are crucial. So we could say that the departments introduce every department a yearly budget, which needs to be confirmed by finance and by the direction. And then over the year, there are like quarters where this budget can be moved higher or lower depending on the circumstances that arrive. And for that, they need a control of what happened last year, in the same quarter, the previous year, and they need to have a vision of the whole situation, and to report, change, extend, send messages. It's absolutely. Before it was much more chaotic. Now we have it totally controlled, and we use all the powerful of Odoo. Then now we are going to deploy the version 13, something like next month, with all these changes. And as you saw, the screenshots are from version 13. We are almost ready. And then it's all the time, and we could say that are cycles in Fenuni. The cycle is we spend almost a year to migrate all the system with all our custom. Then we stabilize. We do a process of stabilization of half year, something like that, where everything is working perfect. And then we have a year and a half to analyze what are the needs of the institution and to raise the services that Odoo provides. So on version 6, we used to have our students and our teachers accessing to the backend of Odoo. When we did migrate to version 9, we saw the powerful of developing on the front end of Odoo. And then we decided to build all these tools. And this has been really the key to continue with Odoo, because we see how powerful it is. We expect this on version 13. That means we are going to migrate, we are going to stabilize, we are going to analyze what are the needs. For example, the recruitment process now, it's much, so we have much more teachers coming in and coming out than ever. We need to hire new employees, and for that the recruitment app will be something to look at. The integration of the website has been always outside. We do believe that the integration to Hulimatch is something that we need to look at. We need to look at the CRM connected to our inscription formula. That means that when there is an inscription which is not finished, after a certain time, it should go to a CRM process where we overview and marketing with the student services. They start to reach our leads because they have showed interest. They did a partial inscription. The marketing campaign should be also another topic to look at. The VoIP, that we have a way of improving the services to our students, recording the calls and recording everything. When I say recording, it's not the content of the call, but a way of report what was the conversation about. Many others that will come that now we don't even think about it. So this is the mostly what I did explain is a big overview, because we are working for years and it will be quite hard to express all what we have done during this time, but I think it's much more than enough. I'm Pedro Gonzalez, so you can, of course, this system is based on several brains, 4 or 5 brains, but we would like also to take the chance that you give us some comments or how we could do some things that we already described better, or even if you want to ask us how do we deal with certain topic on educational side, please send our comments, because they are really welcome. Thanks a lot. I wish you a nice day.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Q&A of the presentation, Running a University with Odoo. I hope everyone had a lovely Odoo experience so far. My name is Alexander. I'll be the interviewer during this Q&A, and joined with me is Pedro. Pedro, thank you first of all for this lovely talk, and thank you for taking the time to answer some of the questions here.
Thanks to you, Alexander.
All right, let's dive straight into the chatter and the questions. And there's a question popping out from Ivan. Ivan is asking you, Pedro, what is the number of custom modules installed?
Before answering this question, I would like to take just some seconds to appreciate the time that Odoo has given to us to show this project, first of all, and to appreciate and to say thank you to Fenuni for trusting us, and absolutely to my development team, and which is absolutely great and fantastic. Thanks, Ivan, for your question. I will go directly to the answer. I did quickly check in the meantime, and I did saw that we have about 40 modules. That will be the number of custom modules specifically developed by Fenuni and also by our partners. And not, I think that the important thing is also the amount of code. And for that, I did check the amount of Python lines that we have in our custom modules, and we have almost 70,000 lines of Python code. And of course, it's not only about Python, the Odoo complete framework. So we have a lot of code. Yes.
Right, great. Thank you, Pedro. Other questions? I don't see any questions right now. However, I've prepared a few for you, Pedro. One of the things I thought might be interesting to discuss about, why did you, instead of choosing a unique provider as a software provider, Fernuni decided to have several Odoo partners and a dedicated person inside the institution?
That's a great question, actually. Fenuni did have already only a unique partner, but the experience with that, it resulted a bit complex. No? So then they decided to have somebody in turn who really looked to the processes from the perspective of an uni. This is my role, actually. And then what we do is, together with the department leaders, we develop the processes. And then once we have a clear idea of what we need to develop, then we deliver that to our development partners. And then it's great to have several of them, because not all the partners are great on everything. As example, we have a Swiss partner that provides to us the salary application, and they are doing that great. But at the same time, we also need partners who develops on the front end of Odoo, and for that we got from Pesol actually a super nice collaboration. And when we have a lot of work, also Red Odoo and is also providing us a lot of work. So I think it's to have the best solution, you need to have the best from each partner. And that's what we do in Fenuni. We do collect this from everyone.
Okay, so the collaboration between all of the different partners involved is what makes a good outcome, let's say.
Absolutely. They need to be aware of what's the other partner providing. And for that, it's me kind of the connection when they don't know. But on top of that, we also interact together. The migration, we are a bunch of 5-6 guys who collaborate almost every week, and we speak about how to do everything from different partners in different companies. Yeah.
All right, great. Another interesting question coming in, Pedro, from Gabriela Enriquez. She's asking you, what was your experience on change management with the staff from the university and the users using the solution? What was your experience there?
On change management, normally I don't actually know exactly what does he refer change management, but if it's about
I mean, I think it is referring to having the new Odoo solution implemented. What the change were the adaptations that the users had to
uh-huh.
make. Was it easy? Was it hard for them to adapt? How did they make
Concerning
the
the
transition?
changes, yeah. So I was not before this software, but in the use of Odoo, we have faced several phases. And we were before with OpenERP 6.1, then we went to Odoo 9, and now we go to Odoo 13. In all these steps, there is, of course, there is a lot of consultancy to be done, not only development, it's also that our users understand how the tool works. And for this, we do a good analysis on our customizations. Do we keep them, or do we start to use what is coming from the core? Because the process sometimes can be easier if we do what's coming from the core, and we know that then Odoo takes the leadership on that, and then the migrations will automatically adapt that. That's what we really try here on every migration.
All right, clear,
Mhm.
perfect.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time for this Q&A. However, maybe it's still interesting because I see there's some interest in the chat. How can the people find you, Pedro? How can they contact you? How can they know more about the talk and you?
I can write in my chat my mail, and then
Yeah.
they are free to contact me. Is what I would like to say, or I did say in my exposition, is that this has been built by several brains, but we need, of course, the ideas from other people and to know and to share all this. So
So
I
getting the feedback.
definitely can.
Okay. So you heard it, everyone. Pedro is going to put his contact details into the chat. Don't hesitate to contact him. He's more than willing to elaborate and to provide all of the answers you might be looking for. However, for now, we have to end the Q&A. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I wish you a nice last few talks of the evening. Enjoy them. And, of course, a big thanks to Pedro again for his talk and his clear answers. Thank you, Pedro.
Thanks to you, Alexander. Nice
Okay.
evening.
Yes, great. All right. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.